What I'm going to show you now is a couple variations on water barrels and irrigation systems with grow buckets. This is the first iteration of taking a downspout or a gutter and putting an elbow on it, and then the elbow goes to the top of the rain barrel. In this case, the rain barrel's got a larger piece of screening in it. Still have the holes on top for drain into the barrel and to protect from mosquito breeding. This barrel is simply placed on the ground as opposed to a stand, and its bottom section has a drip tape assembly on it instead of a hose bib. It's clamped off right now because I'm not using it, but this drip tape only takes about 2 or 3 psi to enable it to push water through it, so it's a very low-tech way of approaching irrigation. So that's one configuration for a barrel. I'm going to go into the irrigation system that I put together for the grow buckets here. And what I have is a series of different grow buckets, round recycled glazed buckets from Dunkin' Donuts, or these white square 4-gallon buckets are the ones that we use from a food vendor. They originally had mushrooms in them. And in the grow buckets, we initially started with using 2 buckets like this one here in front of me on the right. We put one bucket inside the other, and we created about a 3-inch reservoir between the buckets on the bottom. We cut a hole in the center of that inside bucket, about the size of a cup, and then we placed a plastic cup into the hole or the reservoir, punched holes in the cup, filled it up with a special blended soil. That soil now becomes a wick that brings water from the reservoir in the bottom up to the plant roots. An easy way to water these plants or planting systems is through the pipe here on the top. Basically water it on the top until the water comes out in the bottom. There'll be holes drilled around the sides like this one here, holes drilled around the sides near the base of the reservoir, so when the water is filling up the reservoir, it'll start to overflow, and as soon as it starts to overflow, you can stop watering the container. This irrigation system that I have here is making it much easier to do multiple grow buckets at the same time. I've started with a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch black tube that's lying on the ground here, and the spaghetti tubing, which is a very thin black tube. I punch a hole into the 3/4 inch pipe first with an awl or a sharp object, and then I open the opening a little bit further with a nail set and stick the spaghetti tubing into the black tube. Then I drill a hole into the top of the water entry point and just put the black tube right into the hole that's drilled there, and then it will fill up the bucket automatically just by turning on the hose that's hooked to the black pipe, or you can even automate it by putting a timer on to the black hose that goes to the water buckets. So I've got a 100-foot roll here of this black tube, and a 100-foot roll probably would accommodate, I haven't used it all yet, but probably will accommodate over 100 to 200 plants. So it's an inexpensive and simple way to set up an automated irrigation system for your garden with grow buckets. Here's another setup on the barrel that actually 2 of them here. They're set up with the same configuration coming off the downspout with a elbow going into the water barrel. The top of the water barrel is screened as in the opposite as the last one we just saw. What's different here though is 2 things. It's on a stand that's about 16 inches high. The stand will allow the water via gravity, more height, more gravity, will allow the water to carry on further into the hose hooked up to the hose bib on the bottom. Or another nice thing that you can do with this is probably the easiest way to water your plants with a rain barrel is take the hose that's hooked to the bottom and walk around and water your plants with the hose. And it being at this height with about an 18-inch or 16-inch stand, you'll be able to water about waist level with your hose walking around, which is a very nice way to water them. And obviously your plants will prefer rainwater to chlorinated water. So one of the major advantages of using rain barrels.